Hi, how are you? Oh, good. Good to see. And wonderful. We're waiting a few more moments. A few more people have RSVP'd, but we will see. And I also received some questions already from someone who knew that she wouldn't make it to the live video, but as you all know, you all will receive the video afterwards. Yeah, Tauranga's having quite some nice weather. It was cloudy the whole morning. Now it's gonna go. Blue skies coming up. So I hope wherever you are, your weather's beautiful too. And you're doing fine. I hope you can hear me well. The microphone says it is good. If you want, you can give me a thumbs up in the chat. That would be awesome. If the sound is great. One of the neighbors has some music on, but that shouldn't worry us too much anyway. Yay! Okay. If you have any questions, I know Raymond, you know, and Gay Marie for you too. Just go into the chat and just key your questions in there, and that's fine. So let's get going. Yee, wonderful. So what I thought is really before I start the workshop that's starting next Sunday here in Tauranga and online, about the basics of Feng Shui. So I think that most of us don't want to study. I know that one of the person in Oriental world really wants to study the basics, and that's fine. But most of us, we want to learn the Feng Shui because we've got some trouble in our lives that we want to try if we can use any tool, in this case it's Feng Shui, to change our life to the better. And some of you know my story, so you know that I've tried nearly 20 years ago so many tools to get out of my depression and out of the burnout and out of some other issues that I've had. And those were the tools that helped me most, meditation and the Feng Shui. I changed a really lot with that. So how do we do it? So I called this one, number one, useful Feng Shui, because we're really using it. We're not just talking about theoretically and the energies and all these things. This is what you're going to learn in the workshop about the basic Feng Shui. What I want to do today and on Wednesday is really giving you tools so you can change it right now. So I also called it How Feng Shui Can Help Me to Make Better Decisions. And first, let's just see what keeps us from making better decisions. And those are the 4 key points that I want to give you in those 2 workshops. Today, we're looking at what keeps you from making better decisions. And one of the key points, and as I told you before, I know what I'm talking about, is exhaustion or not sleeping. So having a proper and healthy sleep is so important, or rest in between is so important. So we really need to look after ourselves and have a healthy sleep place and have a healthy routine with the sleep. Yes, some of us are working shifts, so it's a bit harder, but I've worked with a few people who were working shifts, and we kind of got a routine into that too. It was a bit harder with one lady because there were kids involved. Of course, then it is a bit harder, but it's possible. So the sleep routine is one of the most important things. And this is what I want to do today. And the second one is, of course, clarity. If we don't have clarity in our lives, it's hard to make decisions. If our vision is blurred, in a metaphorical sense, for some reason, then it's harder to make good decisions, right? So the point number one that I want to talk about today is the bed position and the sleeping. So if you are able to get a really good sleep routine up, that is absolutely awesome. And that would just work amazingly good. There is a video that I did a while ago about points that you could do better in your bedroom. And one of them, it seems the music gets louder here. Can you let me know in the chats if the music is too loud? How is the sound? Can you maybe give me a thumbs up if the sound is okay? I'm not quite sure. Great. Thank you so much. Oh, awesome. Good to know. Thanks. Yes. So with the bedroom in general from Feng Shui is a yin place. So it's supposed to be as yin as possible. So you don't want to have too much fiery stuff. I mean, I always say when I come to that point, every time in your life there is a point where you want that. But if you're having sleep issues, we're looking really into what is too young in your bedroom, what is better yin. So look at the plants you have if you have spiky plants. Look at the television if you have a television in your bedroom. You don't need to throw it out. I would, to be honest. But if you just hang a cloth over it, because the thing is, number one, it is an electric device, but number two, it also works like a mirror, and it mirrors whatever is happening in your bedroom. So the idea is, with mirrors in the bedroom, the classic feng shui says that, oh, it is that the ghosts appear. What those ghosts mean is, if you are having a not so quiet sleep, if you're tossing and turning a lot, if you're getting up at night, there is a movement in the room, and you maybe when you're half asleep, you don't really know what it is, and that can actually give you a fright and make you unsafe. So that is what the mirrors in the bedroom mean actually. It's about feeling not safe, which then makes your sleep much more uncomfortable and much more uneven. So if you really want to keep your television in your bedroom, then have for a sarong, for instance, or a nice blanket, or something that even looks like a picture, and put it over the TV when you're not using it. So that's a good thing to do, and to really look into that. But other than that, seriously, um, it is more about the routine that you have, the sleep routine. So one of the recommendations is to go to bed before 10, at least before 11. And from my own experience, it makes a huge difference. The 10 or 11 o'clock train, as they call it. The 10 o'clock sleep gives you really much more, the sleep before 12 gives you much more rest. And it's about rest now. If you can't go to bed that early, or if you say wake up every night, or you can't get anything, oh, we've got someone coming, then really try and get sleep or rest during the day. Let's say if you're shift working, then you can try and schedule your day so that you get an hour rest somewhere, like a nap. There would be something to do. So it is about scheduling. Then, of course, I won't have my cell phone in my bedroom. I don't have them. If I need them as my clock or anything because I'm sleeping somewhere else, then I put it on airplane mode. So there's no reception for my phone at night. Really keep the electricity as low as possible in your bedroom. Electricity is yang, and your bedroom should be yin because you're resting. So this is really one of the important things. Just Charlotte, to give you the connection, I've been talking about how to make better decisions. Has also to do with how exhausted or how restful you are. And so one of the key points is really having good sleep, and that is about your bedroom, of course. So I started talking about that not too long ago, so it didn't miss too much. And also, you will get the video afterwards too, so that's fine. Um, Really limit the devices that you have in your bedroom, and that is for kids too. Um, I know that there could be one or the other fight, but if you introduce it early enough, they will get used to it. And it's really healthier to not have too many electronic devices in the bedroom. Again, electronic devices are yang, and we want a yin atmosphere. Same spiky plants, yang, we want a yin atmosphere. Um, I remember a kid's bedroom that I did for ages ago, and the boy just loved Ferrari. And so he had this Ferrari bed cover and just loved it. But he didn't sleep well. So I said, you know what? Give him a Ferrari poster somewhere, not over the bed, but on the other part of the room where his desk is, and change the bedding. And that was one of the points that we did. I don't say change the color, everything's going to be fine. No, no, you know me well enough for that. But it is one of the key points to not sleep in a red bed, because red again is yang. What I also tell you is, if you sleep well in your bedroom, you don't need to change anything, of course. If you sleep well and you have lots of metal in your bedroom, if you sleep well, you have red in your bedroom and you sleep well, don't change it. It's totally fine. But if you realize that there is a place in your home where you sleep much better, then maybe it's worth looking into that. And we can also look into the yearly energies. Every year has different energies in different sections of the house. So that could be a factor. But that's what we're not going to do that today. We're staying with the basic things. Okay. Electronic devices in your bedrooms. Sleep routine. Really, that's important. Look at your food routine. How late in the evening are you eating? The later you eat, the less rest you will have, the more likely you will toss and turn because your body is still processing the food. And so it's not ready to rest. It takes about 4 to 5 hours for the body to process the food and then get rest for itself. Um, so that is really one of the key points. Look at that, really look at that. And also look at that. Um, what are you eating at night? Is it heavy food? Is it lighter food? Um, I know my nutritionist always says make the lunch your main meal of the day. Easier said than done, to be honest. Creatures of habit, but we're looking into eating. We've been eating early anyway. We're always trying to eat between 5 and 6, and since we changed that years ago, sleep is definitely better. And when we're invited for a barbecue like last Friday and we're eating late, we really feel the difference in our sleep quality. So that is one of the points. Sleep routine, your eating routine, the yang and yin in your bedroom. And then, of course, the next point, really important, what goes hand in hand, and I told you about that, is clarity. Um, so the clarity that you get in your life, um, you will take it into your sleep if you worry too much. And a lot of you know that, and I know that. We wake up in the night and you think, oh, this and that, and then your head keeps spinning, going round and round and round. You worry about something and you can't find sleep because you keep on worrying. Maybe you then get up and do something or make a note about it and then try and go back to sleep. Maybe you need some supplements or something that your doctor gave you to sleep better at night. So that's also part of your routine. Of course, it's better if we don't need anything to help us sleep, but it is important to get rest. So if you have an issue physically, then go see a health practitioner and let them help you, because to make better decisions in life, you really, really need to have your rest and your sleep. That's so important. So if you need help, go and see someone and get help. Um, some of you, oh, that is the question that was sent in from the person who knew that she wouldn't make it to the live event. You asked about the bed directions. Yes, there are some general things that I want to tell you about the bed directions. I know that some Feng Shui practitioners and some religions actually on the planet say that you should not sleep with your feet towards the door because it's called the dead man position, because this is the position you get carried out of the room when you're dead. Well, if you believe in it, then avoid it. I personally favor having my feet towards the door, to be honest. This is, if I can manage to have it that way, I will. Reason being, safer. The most important thing and what makes us feel safe is when your head is the furthest away from where an intruder could come in. So this is where your safety lies. And this is one thing that we're also talking about on Wednesday morning in the session, but in a different context. We're talking now about bedrooms. I want my head to be as far away from the door as possible, because if an intruder should be in, and a lot of our behavior is still from back in the days about attacking and safety and security. This is our basic need, safety and security. Don't forget that. So that gives me theoretically the most time if an intruder should come in or I should be attacked to react to it. If I'm lying with my head towards the door, I've got less time to react until he or she can attack me and my head or my heart. So it is a basic instinct to wanting to have as much time to react as possible. So that is a position that gives you more safety. Okay. I know in New Zealand, a lot of the bedrooms are designed that way that the bed can only be underneath a window. It's not ideal. and that is Feng Shui is one thing. So a window is always a yang feature. So you have a yang feature over your head, so that influences your sleep too. From a health perspective, especially in winter, the point is that there is the cold out there and the warmth is inside. So we will always have a conversion stream along the window, which will always have a movement of air around your head. And movement around your head of air, as in like a wind like situation, causes a lot of unrest in your head and also your organs. So it is this unrest that this conversion stream causes in you, which makes your sleep also not very good. And if you have one of the older houses where you have condensation on the window, you're having a wet sleep environment, and we all know what happens in a damp sleep environment is not healthy. So if you can avoid at least having your head underneath the window, that will be really, really awesome and great. But I think her question was also aiming towards something else. There is something in the Feng Shui where we have, de- depending on the year you're born in and depending on your gender, which are your favorable and unfavorable directions. So we all have four favorable directions and four unfavorable directions, and they all mean different things. We will go into that in the basic course. It's part of the basic course. And if you've bought my video course, you also have it in there. And you can actually Google it. It's probably out there somewhere, the so-called GUA number or KUA number. Or if you want to have it, email me. I can give it to you. Um, these four favorable directions, this is where you should look towards when you work, and your crown should point towards when you sleep. Okay, that is the important thing to remember. Looking towards when you're upright and when you're lying down, where your crown points to. That should be ideally one of the four favorable directions, ideally the universal or the health direction, but even if it's the success or the relationship direction, fine. If you've got a partner and you've got different auspicious directions, then there is always also a cure. So one of you will sleep in their favorable direction. Then just make sure that the one who is not sleeping in a favorable direction steps out of the bed in the morning towards a favorable direction. And that is manageable. I haven't had a case so far where it wasn't manageable. So just make sure if you can't sleep for some reason towards your favorable direction, make sure you step out of your bed in the morning towards the favorable energy. Does it make sense? Okay, good. Um, and also, what also serves you really much a lot, and we're not looking at directions at the moment, is if you have a partner, so if there's two people sleeping in the bedroom, um, the one who's sleeping closer towards the door is the one who is theoretically a bit more unsafe. Okay, so then we're going to make sure that the surrounding points towards this person. So let's say someone has a favorable direction, is sleeping into the favorable direction, and the other one isn't, then I would suggest to place the person who can't sleep into the favorable direction further away from the door if possible, or stepping into the favorable direction. That would be really practical feng shui, how we practice it, how we really use the tools that we have to make sure that the bedroom is favorable for both of them who sleep in there. If you're one person, if you're single, and you have your bed in the bedroom, then you can do it all towards your direction. So it's all good then. There's always a direction you will be able to use. And I've had people who had the bed then towards the corner and had then a bookshelf made for them for the corner over there. So that's fine. That's my point number one. You need to have good sleep. You need to have rest to make better decisions. If you're an exhausted mind, every decision will come out of a short term reaction or a need of safety and security, or maybe even fear. And we all know that fear is not a good advice giver. Okay, Second point for today, one of my favorite topics. uh, Probably always say that, but it's fine. Clarity. We all know that we have those days where clarity is not in us. And then we just acknowledge that, where maybe it's too hot, maybe somebody said something that upset us, maybe something happened that did upset us. How do you find the clarity on days where you don't have clarity? A very good pointer is in your surrounding, like outside, like inside. So the clarity that you have in your outside helps you with the clarity you have on your inside. Of course, ideally, you live in a place that's always clear and always clean, but we all know that's not going to happen every day and every time. Especially when we are not in a good mood, it is very likely that our surrounding is exactly that, not that clear, because that's what our mind is now trying to manifest and to figure out. So you've got two possibilities. Maybe you have one room, and I encountered that where the whole house was a mess, but the bedroom was just perfect. So I said to her, spend more time in your bedroom if you want to. And she started implementing a reading corner into her bedroom. And slowly she got on top of her bad mood and then started decluttering the rest of the house and cleaning and clearing the rest of that. It's a process. You know, it's most of the time it's nothing you do overnight, but you need to realize that clarity on the inside and on the outside is the same. Another possibility, of course, is clarity, and I do that, and I know a lot of other people do that too. I love going over to the sea. I'm sitting by the sea and just let that air come around me and just really, really try and get that clarity from the sea and from the water there. Wherever you are, forest, amazing clarity in there. And that comes down to the chi in the air. It's the chi in the air and it's the nature itself that can give us that clarity. Because nature doesn't, you know, no, it's not true. Nature doesn't know chaos. It's not true. Nature does know chaos. But nature handles chaos quite well. If you look into a forest and the trees, they are not really, I mean, unless they're handmade, they're not really designed to be accurate and structured. It's quite chaotic. On the beach, the waves and how things grow, it's quite chaotic, but there is a structure to it that we maybe don't see sometimes. So really find clarity on days where you don't have clarity, especially if you have a day where you need to decide something. Then don't sit in your corner and feel sorry for yourself, for instance. Don't buy into that. There is clarity. Maybe in this very moment it's not inside of you, and maybe in this very moment it's not outside of you. But then you have to just go somewhere else. Go out, have a coffee, go to the beach, have a walk on the beach, have a walk in the forest. This will give you clarity and will you really make you much better decisions. How is this feng shui, you may ask me now? Well, feng shui is about finding the good chi. And when, on Wednesday, we will also look especially about that, finding good chi, number one, on your entrance and in your house. This is what we're going to do on Wednesdays, 7 p.m., same channel. Feng Shui is all about finding the good chi. And the good chi can be at days within you. It can be a good friend. It can be a good movie. It can be good food. It can be the beach or the forest. Finding the good chi, that's what Feng Shui is about. And this is where you find the clarity. So if you tell me you can't find the clarity, tell me about you and I can let you know where you will find it. Of course, ideally, you will have a push somehow, an impetus in you and say, okay, I'm going to clear my living room today. I'm going to do that. I'm going to declutter the living room and I'm going to use the garage as the rumpus, or you're using the rumpus room and just stuff it all in there. Seriously, um, if you start decluttering, if you start cleaning and clearing your house, you will not be able to clean and clear all in at the same time. Seriously, whoever promotes that has never done it. Use the garage or a rumpus room or whatever to get started. Um, Wherever that rumpus room or garage is on your floor plan, ask me and I will let you know what it means, what you're willing to sacrifice to gain clarity. This is what the Feng Shui is. I know that some people really don't like me for telling them what it is, but that's how it is. So that's the reality of it. But start in one corner of your place. If you need to declutter, if you need to clean and clear, start one thing. I personally like to start in the kitchen, because the kitchen actually stands for transformation. That's also one thing that we're going to do in the basic workshop, what the rooms stand for. Kitchen stands for transformation. So just have a little look around. What does your kitchen look like at the moment? So where are you with your transformation, with your clarity at the moment? It doesn't mean that it needs to look like a museum all the time. That also says something about it. But because it gets used, and that's what transformation is. And sometimes there's a still stand, something nothing is happening, and sometimes it's chaotic. That's called life. So I personally like starting in the kitchen, but it's not wrong starting in the living room either, or in the bathroom. Bathroom is cleaning and clearing itself. Living room means how you want to be anticipated. So maybe you want to start with the living room as in, this is how I want to be seen. And there's nothing wrong with that, because this is how I want to be seen on the outside then has an effect on, this is who I am on the inside. And maybe sometimes you find out, actually, this is not how I want to be seen. I don't care if somebody thinks my books are chaotic, or if somebody thinks blah, 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 whatever. It's a process. So the clarity that you want to gain on your inside, you can start on the inside, work on yourself, meditate, and it's all good. It's wonderful. But you can also start on the outside with the Feng Shui. If you want to do both, even better. But you can start with simply one room. You can start with simply doing walks every second day in nature somewhere. And I hope my neighbor finds the music soon that he or she wants to listen to. I have no idea if you can hear the, the chaos out here, but that's fine. Again, that's life. And I need to be able to sit here, do that workshop with you, while there is complete chaos over there. This is what the Feng Shui is. Finding the good chi. And I'm finding the good chi wherever I am. Not every day. I mean, that's not a secret. But I'm working my way through it. These are two things how you can make better decisions. Get really good sleep and good rest. If you can't sleep that well at night, have a nana nap. A half an hour, 40-minute nana nap a day can change a lot in your life. And the second one, clarity. Look for clarity inside and or outside. Wherever you start is not important. Important is that you start. So if you need some hints, some ideas, some tips about how to gain it and where to gain it, or you say, well, Sandra, all nice and clear, but this and this is happening with me, and that's why I can't do blah 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 blah. Let me know. Maybe I have an idea. Okay, wonderful. This is me for today. So you will get the video afterwards. And if you have any questions, you just email them to me. We can do them on Wednesday, or I email. If it's very personal, I'll just email back to you, and that's all fine. I hope that was helpful. And all of that is really from my background. Everything that I tell you here, I have used. I can tell you, I've tried it and I've used it. And if most of you know me well enough, if there's something I did and it didn't work for me, I will tell you too. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't work for you. Same, if something works for me, it doesn't necessarily mean it works for you. Maybe it doesn't work for you. But it's about getting started. It's about finding the good chi in and around you as often and as much as possible. And if it's 10 minutes a day, wow, better than nothing. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you for watching the video. If you're watching the video, I'm looking forward to see you again on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Same channel down here. Have a fabulous Sunday. Enjoy the weather and the summer as long as it lasts. And I'll see you again on Wednesday. Bye.